They said it was impossible. They said, you can't put together the most elite team of comic book reviewers on the planet and do, a podcast or something like that. Despite all that, today we can proudly announce. Yeah, they were right. We couldn't do it. So instead, we brought you the most vile, ignorant, unprofessional group of comic book enthusiasts we could find. This is Panel to Panel, the Game Rage Magazine comic podcast. Enjoy the ambiance. As certain individuals would say, drink it in, man.
Drink it in, man.
Ooh. Well, here we are. This is episode number 2 of Panel to Panel. As always, my name is Josh. I'm here today with... let's mix it up. I'm here today with good buddy Frank. Microphone's way too far. Try now.
What's up?
That's better. And I'm also here today with good buddy Adam.
Howdy.
And so, Frank, just put it. I just have to. It's not really comic book related. I mean, there are SpongeBob comics, but he just had to ask this question about if SpongeBob is a furry. He's not a person.
It's an animal.
He's a sponge.
It's a sea sponge.
So,
And then Sandy Cheeks.
oh, that's definitely a furry.
Patrick.
Well,
It's an animal.
I mean, that is furry. Yeah, by technical definition.
What a name, dude. Sandy Cheeks.
Sandy Cheeks, man, that is so great.
It's called Sandy Cheeks because SpongeBob was clapping cheeks.
In the sand. Thus, Sandy Cheeks. Anyways, well, that's enough furry talk for fucking any episode ever again. So,
You're the one that introduced it. I said it. I just said it in the intro, not to be part of the party.
no, you can't. You have to fucking acknowledge that. That's the most ridiculous, terrible thing I've ever heard in my life. And I could have went the rest of my life without knowing that. And I wanted to traumatize everyone else out there. So
The only days that are never going to be complete are the days of your birth and the day of your death.
thanks, Frank. That's another fucking. Anyways, so today I wanted to talk about. Well, the main event, I guess, will be comic book stores, or as some people call them, smelly dens of animated books, or drawn books.
Say animated.
Yeah, drawn. I meant to say drawn. I'm an idiot. But before we get into that, did you guys have anything that you wanted to bring up or discuss?
Yeah, I mean,
Yes.
Frank brought it up before.
Right, yeah.
We started.
So I was leading into it, but yeah, go ahead.
I don't even know if it was directed at me or him or you, the Madam Web movie.
Yeah.
I was trying to talk about it, but nobody was listening. So I don't know.
Yeah, because
I
we
heard
talked
you.
about it on. I heard you too, but we were talking about it. I thought you wanted to talk about it on the thing.
I was
You
just
didn't
making
direct it to
conversation
anybody.
while we were in between podcasts.
Oh, okay. Well, now it's a topic on the podcast.
Yeah.
Not really. Everybody knows the movie sucks.
Anyways, yeah, the movie got critically panned. 13% Rotten Tomatoes.
That's terrible. What's
worst-
the audience score?
I don't know. I don't know what it is, but I don't think it really matters. I think everybody knew going in that this was not going to. You almost have to see it because
It's so bad.
it's probably so bad, right? But not that I have actually seen it, but yeah, Madam Web, dude. I can't believe they're making movies about characters, obscure Spider-Man characters that nobody really gives a shit about, and somehow trying to create a
Adam Webb could have been a great character, but
could have,
yeah,
but they
could have.
It feels like Sony is just trying to shill out movies.
well, this is Sony and Marvel.
So this was a combined effort.
Yes, and this is why Sony's now pulling out of the deal with Marvel.
Is that why it sucked? Because there were too many.
From what I heard, I don't know this for sure, but from what I was reading, saying that this was part of the whole Tom Harmon thing with it, because they're trying to make that next movie with the big end.
The Venom.
Yeah, and so this was supposed to be like this was supposed to like explain how the universes come together.
Man, what a shit show.
Mm-hmm.
They keep making movies about Spider-Man characters Some great, some not so great. Kraven the Hunter is a great character in the Spider-Man universe.
Yeah.
But Madam Web, oh man, probably secondary character.
But isn't like she like the god of the Spider-Mans?
She's like what is that thing from the Greek mythology? The Fates, the sister of Fates.
Oh, she's the one that does she control it, or does she just?
I think she just kind of tells people like
she's like an oracle,
something like that.
I mean, she was fucking great in the animated series.
In the animated series, yeah, but to make an entire movie around her, that's like
I didn't think that was a good idea either.
That was like a stretch. That's
they got a young girl to play her too.
They got that girl. She plays Spider-Woman, Sydney Sweeney, the girl from Euphoria.
Yeah, and she's the internet childhood sweetheart right now.
Yeah, and people.
Was she also on Euphoria?
Huh?
Was she also on Euphoria?
Yeah, she's on Euphoria, and then I forgot what else, but I can't believe she signed on for this movie, dude.
It's because it's Disney money.
Well, I mean
that's true.
I mean, whatever amount of money they threw at her must have been
saying no to Chinese money.
Yeah, I guess. I mean,
literally, because it's a Chinese company now.
Whatever money they threw at her must have been so good. I mean, dude, there's an interview with Dakota Johnson, and I don't remember if it was for Entertainment Tonight or one of those fucking media shows that like Access Hollywood, whatever.
Yeah.
They had Dakota Johnson, and this guy brought out the specific issue like of the first appearance of Madam Web, and you could see her wince because she
doesn't have no idea.
Like he showed her the comic, she's like, "Oh, that's cool," or whatever. And
I'm not into comic books.
Well, I mean, I think for her it was just a check to cash in on, and
yeah, of course,
and
it is for all of them, dude.
I mean, it's true, but it's okay. At least
not everybody can be Henry Cavill.
Yeah, at least Sydney Sweeney looked like she kind of gave a damn.
Yeah,
but Dakota Johnson, you could tell either because of the fact that she's probably done a number of like press related things that she was already burned out. She doesn't care, but the guy showed her the comic, and the way she was holding it, she's like, "Oh yeah, that's neat" or whatever. And I'm like, man,
well, look at what was it? Oh my god, I can't remember his name. The guy who plays Wolverine, Hugh Jackman.
Yeah,
when he started doing X-Men 1, they specifically told him do not read any of the comic books. So, all right, cool. Give me like 80 of them. Like they were telling him not to read it, and he was like, "Fuck you, I'm gonna read it."
The best part about Hugh Jackman being Wolverine is that I don't know how tall Hugh Jackman is, but Wolverine is not supposed to be
tall,
average height. He's supposed to be a stubby,
short,
grizzly, goblin, like whatever the fuck,
5'4", some shit like that.
He's not supposed to be that tall, and it's kind of funny that they choose the most like handsome.
Fuck man, he says he's 6'3".
Hugh Jackman's 6'3".
Yeah, he is.
Fuck.
Wolverine. Let's see. Wolverine.
I think he's only like 5 feet,
Wolverine
5 foot
canon height. Yeah, canon height. He's 5'3".
Yeah.
Damn.
He has short people rage like Napoleon.
That's why that's why he's so angry.
Which I mean, you would know, like with short people, you guys are so much closer to hell, so you have to be more.
Well, yeah. I mean, we're just literally one wrong step away, or one trip and fall away from just being in hell. So the production company that made this with them, there were two. Madam Web. This D Bonaventura Pictures. So they've made a lot of good movies in the past. I mean, the first movie that they made was Constantine.
Oh wow!
So it's not bad.
I thought that was a good movie. Yeah, they made that the Doom movie with the one with the first person shooter sequence.
Part of that movie.
They also made 1408, and they made all the Transformers movies too. Their upcoming movie that they got coming out, which will probably be hopefully good for them. The new G.I. Joe movie that's coming out. I hope that doesn't suck.
Transformer one.
It's just called G.I. Joe Ever Vigilant. I don't know.
Is The Rock going to be in it?
Who probably not now. And then there's another Transformers film, I guess, that's coming out, and then untitled Constantine sequel.
Well, that's the thing. So I was about to say, Keanu Reeves. I think it was Ferguson who was interviewing him.
Mm-hmm.
And he asked him if he has any like regrets on his career. And he said his biggest regrets that they didn't make the second Constantine movie.
Well, supposedly, these are TBA, but apparently they're making it. So
yeah, if it's him with him or not,
I fucking hope it is, man. God, that movie came out in 2005, dude. So that means it'll be over 20 years by the time that movie comes out.
It was cool. You know, a show on Fox, Lucifer.
Uh huh.
I went like 8 seasons, or I went like whatever season, but I was like 5 seasons deep into it, and so I realized it was a DC fucking show. Because it's Lucifer Morningstar from the actual DC comics. Because they had a crossover with Heroes of Tomorrow or whatever, with John Constantine like going up to him that, hey, we need a favor.
Yeah.
It's like, oh shit, that was fucking cool. I'm like, that's when I realized, oh shit, it's actually a DC Comics show.
Yeah, that's cool. The other company, TSG, they what? No, I was just getting back to that. They fucking the first movie they made was A Good Day to Die Hard, which was the 5th, I think, Die Hard movie or
Was it
4th.
Kevin Smith one?
Was it good?
Yeah, that was the one Kevin Smith was in.
Yeah, that was not a good one.
And then the other stuff they got upcoming.
I love Kevin Smith, but that was bad.
Yeah, it wasn't the best. It wasn't the best Die Hard movie. They got they made Napoleon. They were involved in the making of Napoleon. Fuck, get out of here. I'm already out.
The first one or the
one from last year, that the biopic or whatever.
Because either one would have been bad.
Yeah, but Deadpool and Wolverine, they also have had a hand in making as well, the upcoming movie. So we know that's probably going to be good. So
I feel bad, man. That movie would have came out already if it wasn't for that fucking strike.
What, the Deadpool and Wolverine movie?
Yeah.
I mean, listen, it's still coming out. It's not.
Did you see the whole theory behind it? Because he gets picked up by the TVA, whatever, the same guys for the Loki show.
Uh-huh.
And it's when they're showing him all the Marvel universes and shit. He's like, ugh. And so the running theory right now is that this is going to be a playoff of the Deadpool kills the Marvel universe. And they're saying like it looks like he's going to be sent to all the different dimensions to kill all the same thing Loki was doing in the Loki TV show.
Oh, but he's going to kill, like the big heroes.
Supposedly, this is going to be how they kill off the X-Men cast.
The old one.
Yeah, so they can now make a new one under Marvel.
Oh. Is this the first rated R movie that's made by
Marvel?
Disney?
Well, no, because the 2 Deadpool movies were also made by them, wasn't it? No,
they were part of Fox, 20th Century Fox, when they were not part of.
Well, technically, it's still Fox. It's just Disney owned.
Yeah, that's true. Deadpool movies. Let's see. When did they buy fucking?
I think it was like 2 years ago, wasn't it? Or 3 years ago?
Is that when they bought Marvel?
Marvel, yeah, or 20th Century Fox. 20th Century Fox had Fantastic Four, X-Men,
and Deadpool.
Well, they had all the mutants.
Yeah. Yeah, so okay, yeah, that was the 20th Century Fox X-Men spinoff. It's titled as. Yeah, so I don't know. I guess we'll see. Marvel Entertainment LLC. Wait. Okay, so it was 2009 when Disney purchased Marvel or whatever.
That long ago?
Yeah.
Marvel, yes, but 20th Century Fox.
Well, right, but Marvel Entertainment was also a production company.
Yeah, that was part of the deal when they sold them. They sold off their properties.
Yeah.
The only one that didn't have that deal was Sony.
Right. So Disney was involved in the making of Deadpool. They were involved with it tangentially. They're considered their Marvel Entertainment owned production company. Was one of the production companies on the movie. So technically, I mean, I guess you could say.
Oh, I got you.
It was just the distributor was 20th Century Fox, not Disney. So
yeah.
So that was
interesting.
Because he did all that time travel shit in Deadpool 2 at the end.
Yeah.
That's why the TVA picked him up.
Huh.
Because that's why they picked up Loki, because he diverted from the original timeline. So they had to
put him back or whatever.
No, they had to get rid of him. Because the original one is still. Because the original one died to Thanos.
Yeah.
And then they traveled back in time to grab the stones, and then he grabbed it to teleport away. And so that created a variant. Because that one died, but this one went off, so he couldn't die.
In that show, doesn't he become a member of that place anyway? Of that thing?
That's what the show is. That's what I'm saying. It's
right.
like Loki, because he had to go around doing shit for them.
Yeah.
And then he ends up becoming Idrisil at the end.
Okay. Huh. Interesting. Well, I mean, it'll be interesting to see how that goes. I mean, hopefully it goes better than that Deadpool and Wolverine's better than Marvel, Madam Web or whatever.
Yeah. So far, all those movies have been a hit, so.
Yeah, the Deadpool ones. Yeah. So.
As long as they don't fucking, there's not too many hands touching it.
Yeah. Maybe.
That's why I'm worried about this third one, because Fox/Disney are going to be fully involved.
Well, there's only one way to find out,
when it comes out.
and that's go see it when it comes out.
You know the writer strikes must have done damage to them.
I don't know. I think it already.
No, because not.
It wasn't the writer's strike.
No,
It was
not in the sense of what they were doing. In the sense that Disney's going to be more involved now, because they. I don't know. I just feel like they're going to be more involved in this shit now.
Well, I mean, they already made the movie.
It was still in production when the strike happened.
Yeah, it was in production, but the movie was already written.
Yeah, it was written. But remember, actors went on strike too with the writers' strike.
Yeah, so then why would they get more involved after that fact?
Because they're going to be more protective now. Because they all had agreed to a massive payout to all the actors and writers.
Well, yeah, but that movie was in production though, so
it wasn't finished though.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is like all the deals that everybody made were already made before the movie started production, right? So how would that affect those deals?
If that was the thing, then the strike wouldn't have stopped the movie.
Well, no, they went on strike for the future stuff.
Yeah, but here's the thing: if you were under contract already before the strike started, you were legally obligated to finish the contract.
No, you're not, because there's not they don't put no strike clauses in there.
To the what are they called? The Screenwriters Guild.
I
was watching this thing. The guy was talking about it, saying because of who was it?
I don't know.
Somebody was doing something. It was like a YouTuber. He was doing a show or something, and he had to cross the picket line to do the show. But they're saying, but because he signed the contract beforehand, he was excused from the strike.
Tom Cruise had something like that where
because he signed a contract before the strike, they weren't considered what are they called when you work for a union when they're on strike?
Yeah, scab.
You didn't consider that because you were already on contract before the strike happened, so you weren't punished by the guild for doing your job.
Yeah, like Tom Cruise had something like that with it was either the Top Gun movie or the Mission Impossible movie. It was one of those two ones. And since he was like contractually bound or whatever, I mean, since he still had to like work on the movie, nobody was looking at him dirty because most of the actors were standing side by side.
Right,
and they were between projects as well. But those that were actively in a project were excused from the strike because they were already under contract. But if you signed a contract after the strike happened, then that was a violation of the guild.
Or if it was frowned
upon. It was frowned upon,
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Is that the actor strike affected the movie, which means they had to stop production because they went on strike, right?
Stop production, I know that.
Yeah, because everybody went on strike, so nobody was going to show up. So
that's what I'm saying.
That's what I'm saying. Like their deals though were already made in advance. So then, like those deals wouldn't have changed to whatever the new rules are. It's because the SAG the contract is essentially you abide by the contract while it's in effect, but then usually what happens is the contract will expire and they're still negotiating. So while the clause in the contract is in effect, let's say it ended on like July 1st of 2023, okay, because they went on strike, I don't know, whatever, but let's say it ended July 1st. Any contracts that are made after that are still bound by the old contract in terms of the payouts and all the money and whatever, that's right. But
the new ones negotiated.
Well, but the no strike clause that's in that previous contract, once it's expired, is no longer in effect. So you can go. That's why you can't go on strike while you're in a contract, but you can go on strike after the fact. Yeah. So that's why they went on strike, because otherwise, but their deals that they had already made aren't, because they were made under the old contract. So the new contract doesn't get reapplied to those deals. So that's what I'm saying. What you're saying about how, Disney's going to be more whatever because they had to pay actors more money. Well, no, they're already paid out.
No, you're misunderstanding me. I'm saying they have to make sure they make their, again, it's like the whole thing happened in DC. They're going to change they got involved to make more money.
Yeah, but I don't think Disney's going to, like I said, they already filmed half the movie, right? So
look at what happened with Scott Snyder when fucking Josh Whedon took over the project. He edited the movie to be completely fucking different.
Yeah, but they also...
And it was completely finished. The movie was finished completely. They were in editing. And because if you watch the one that Josh Whedon took out and then the Snyder cut, they're two whole different fucking movies.
Right.
So I'm saying, even if half the movie, you're saying that they can't do anything to it, obviously they can.
No, what I'm saying is that I don't think it's going to affect the outcome of the movie because they already know that the Deadpool movies make money, so they're not going to fuck with it. They're not going to fuck with the formula.
They fucked with the second one.
What'd they fuck with the second one?
They didn't let Ryan Reynolds do. He was complaining about how they fucking changed the script on him.
Yeah, but okay, the movie still did good. The movie didn't do bad.
It's still exactly. So now they have it in their mind. We can change things and it'll still be good because people are gonna come because of Ryan Reynolds.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying. They're gonna fuck with it.
Maybe, but that's Ryan Reynolds' fault.
Why is that?
Well, because he could have just said no to the next one. If he already knew what they were, if he already knew they were doing, he was bitching about it. I don't know. But anyways, that's maybe a topic. Well, I don't know. It's kind of relevant because it's comic related. But anyways, so what were we going on about? The Madam Web movie?
No, somebody being a bitch.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah, Madam Web. So, I mean, shit. I don't know why they continue to make crappy
Movies.
Spider-Man related character movies.
The Marvel Universe. Sorry, Adam. Let me cut you off.
Oh, no, go ahead.
I'm just saying, like, the Marvel Cinematic Universe died with Iron Man.
Yeah, I mean, but then again, like
people are saying, "Oh, DC's gonna take over." No, DC's fucking dying too.
They're just as far as from Marvel as.
Do you think we're going back to the period where, prior to the real Marvel Cinematic Universe taking off and changing the narrative for comic book movies, do you think we're going back to that like Dark Ages period where all the comic book movies were just shit? Do you think we're like it's like cyclical, and now we're going back to these movies are going to start to suck dicks?
Yeah, I mean, because it's like. I mean, shit.
Mainstream media got the dirty hands on it, dude.
Yeah.
God, remember when they were fucking comic book movies, which is cult classic movies?
Yeah.
Like the original Batman movie, those fucking goofy Superman movies.
Shit, man. It was cyclical because there was that period when they were good, and then they fucking started to suck dicks, and they were all bad, campy, shitty movies.
I'm saying that's what Superman did. It made him campy, and the Batman TV show.
Yeah.
Adam West. And then he tried, what's his name?
Well, when Tim Burton made the Batman movie in the 80s, that made it serious again and made it good. And then we went to Batman and Joker, Batman and Robin. Yeah, they made him goofy and campy again. And then we went to
Nolan fucking saved it.
Yeah, and then we went back to that again. So I think we're now in the period
We're in the fuck around period.
I think they've been fucking around.
Now we're in the find out.
Now we're about to find out. Because not that I hated that last Batman movie.
It was good.
It was pretty good, but
it wasn't.
Obviously, it wasn't what we were used to.
Yeah.
And I think Batman is a character
I still stand that Robert Pattinson would have been a great Terry McGinnis instead of a Bruce Wayne.
Wait, who?
Terry McGinnis?
No, who? What actor?
Robert Pattinson.
Robert Pattinson?
Yeah, Robert Pattinson.
Black hair and everything. Yeah, I think he does have the jawline of the character. Yeah,
Like,
he does look
if
like
they would have
the
made him Terry McGinnis, made him Batman Beyond, and had fucking Kevin, what's his name? Who was the first Batman?
Oh, Michael Keaton?
Michael Keaton come back as old Batman as his mentor. That would have been fucking great.
Yeah.
But
well, look at that, like that Flash movie. I didn't see it, but that's they had Michael Keaton fucking in there as old Batman.
That was the only good part of the movie.
But yeah, but that's
and Supergirl was fucking
hot. So yeah, I don't know, man. I think we are going to start transitioning back into the
campy movies.
Yeah, well, or the just bad movies. I don't know if they're going to be campy, but they're going to be bad. I feel like, and this is.
I think we're going to the part where animated comic movies again are going to be the only good ones. Because right now, the only good movies Marvel's been putting out have been the Spider-Man ones, the Spider-Verse movies.
Yeah,
with Miles Morales,
right?
And then DC has always made great fucking animated movies.
Yeah, they are always fucking really good. Mm-hmm. So I think that DC, that's going to be where it's at probably for the foreseeable future. I don't think that the movies
DC needs a complete reset, and they made the wrong choice with going Scott with what's his name
Zack Snyder.
No,
or no,
James Gunn.
Yeah, there you go.
I mean, he's already saying it's gonna be like 8 years until the next Batman movie. and like he's choosing a lot of irrelevant characters.
Yeah.
Like the only thing I've heard about from what he has planned is a fucking horror-esque TV show around Swamp Thing, which is
that's cool.
Be cool.
Yeah, that'll be sweet. I love Swamp Thing.
Mm-hmm.
So I think they are making, like you said, some bad choices with which characters they're pushing forward.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, I just don't. I see it going that route where things are going to get bad again. And I do think that there are some characters in some movies that are going to be good. I mean, I'm hoping that
dab at him. You got to dab if you can do all those dance moves.
I'm hoping that whatever they're going to do with the X-Men is going to be good, because
I hope so.
I enjoy X-Men movies, and I just want them to be good. I like the characters. I like the old boy X-Men. But I don't know. I guess we'll just have to. Well, we're gonna find out. They're fucking around, and we're gonna find out. Maybe we'll just find out good things. I don't know.
So I know this is a comic book one.
Yeah.
Does webcomics count?
Yeah, it's comic.
Okay. I was want to talk about. I was talking to you about this earlier with the whole, like, the fucking. Again, to go with the whole like, the indie scene is starting to do better than the mainstream.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I've noticed a lot of things happening too with that. In the sense of, I was talking about in the last podcast, we were talking about how video games, the indie games, are doing so
better than mainstream AAA games. Yeah,
I've been noticing too that webcomics are becoming fucking huge now too.
Like independent comic, people just making their own shit.
And my biggest example right now is Has Been Hotel. And the fucking series just dropped. I just finished watching it, and like, it was fucking great. It was a really good show. I enjoyed it a lot. I never read the comic that it's based on. I think it's a webcomic. I'm not 100% sure. I know she had another one called like Zoopedia or some shit like that. Because there's lore out there. Like, there's stories. So I'm assuming it was a webcomic. Actually, let's confirm that before we continue.
Yeah, that's what I'm Googling. Has Been Hotel Wiki comic series is a line of webcomics released by Vivienne Medrano. Yeah, so it was comics.
Yeah, because there's a lot of like, because if I go on the Wikipedia, it tells you about shit that hasn't even happened in the shows and stuff.
Right. Okay.
Because she has two shows. One, Tell of a Boss and Has Been Hotel. And they're both in the same universe.
Okay.
But like, she was able to fucking get it fucking crowdfunded and then get it picked up by A24. And then A24 was able to sell it to Amazon. And I don't know, man. It's just a shit that started off on YouTube, on a webcomic, was able to make a pilot on YouTube and put it up to 8 series, into 8. I guess it's a mini series, huh? If it's only 8 episodes.
Actually, I don't know if the fucking comic came before the show. The pilot. Because she's saying that the comics had been in the works since before the pilot released, but
that makes sense then.
The comics were slated to release gradually in pages like a webcomic. Additionally, each one would have been a password protected with a riddle. That's kind of cool.
This is pretty cool.
So it looks like
it was a show first.
It looks like they were going to do this as a side deal.
Yeah, because I remember they were talking about one of the characters in the show. He was meant to be like, in the pilot, he was meant to be a one-off character, one and done.
Yeah.
But then he ended up becoming part of the main cast.
Okay.
So it tells me that maybe the show isn't even based on the webcomic anymore.
Yeah, because
if the webcomic came later, then now it makes sense.
Yeah, well, apparently they removed the comic. You can't even find it anymore. They removed it, so they're saying it's no longer canon. So it's basically, it doesn't exist at this point.
That makes sense then. But still, my point still stands.
Yeah.
I'm just
what was the other one?
Hell of a Boss.
Let me see if that one's on here. Anyways, continue.
I think it was all part of the same universe because.
Well, yeah, but if she actually made it a comic first, then
we could keep talking about it.
Yeah. Okay, so webtoon. Here's the comic. Man, they do not have. There's just like no information about it. But yeah, it looks like it's a legit comic. This one looks like it's a legit comic.
Hello, Boss.
Yeah. So I would say that.
It falls on the same thing because the success of the pilot led to them starting that show on YouTube.
I'm trying to find out when she actually made this. I continue, but anyways, continue going.
Well, the Hell of a Boss came after the Has Been Hotel pilot.
The comic book?
No, I'm talking about the show.
Yeah, I'm sure that makes sense.
Because what's his name? I forget his name. He's a YouTuber.
Uh-huh.
I think his name is Brandon Rogers.
Uh-huh.
He's like the main actor on it.
Okay.
They even got what's his name? You guys wouldn't know. I don't think you say you didn't like it, but it was the guy who played Invader Zim.
Oh, okay. Webtoon. Well, you can read it on. Oh yeah, there's only like 2 of them though. So yeah, I'm not sure. Anyway, so continue.
So I mean, if it's not a comic, then we can just move on.
No, keep going.
Yeah, no, keep going. It is a comic, but well, no, the point you're making about web or independent people
it's better
online.
than a lot of shit. I was just saying it's better than a lot of shit I've been seeing on television and shit.
Right. What's the difference between a web comic? Like, what is just a comic that's on the web? Like, what the fuck's the difference?
So it is.
All right, web comics are comics published on the internet.
Well, technically, One Punch Man was a web comic. That still is actually.
And then it became like an actual manga.
No, it's an anime. It's still all his shit's still coming out online, from what I understand.
Interesting.
Forgot what was his name? I think he called himself One or something. Because he did that. He does that in Mob Psycho 100.
Man, I wonder if we can harness the power of AI.
Well, did you get that video I sent you?
Which one?
About the YouTuber?
I don't know. How long ago did you send it to me?
Today.
I don't think you did. But anyways, we'll go ahead.
Yes, I did.
All right, what is it?
The guy made, he was like a Let's Play or whatever. And then he started making, he made a bunch of videos where it's all AI generated.
Huh.
It looks like he's VTubing, but it's all AI. The scripting, the voicing, everything, except for the gameplay, was AI.
That's interesting.
Yeah, I sent you the video, the guy talking about it.
Oh, yeah, this Quickie Bop guy? Okay, yeah. All right, now I know what you're talking about. Yeah. Which, I mean, does that change the game for people who, like, let's say you wanted to make a comic.
It's failing miserably.
Right, but that's what I'm saying. Like, let's say that there's a version. If you have basic Photoshop skills and you can get chat, let's just say whatever the plugin is for ChatGPT that draws shit, that turns shit into drawing or whatever, right? Because there's
AI programs to do that.
Right. Let's say you could take that, have it draw you an image of what you wanted the character in the square to be doing, and then with Photoshop, you can literally
with certain AIs, but like with the one that does those AI generated images, they're not consistent. So like you can ask it to draw a certain thing, it'll draw it, and then you ask it to draw the same thing but do something different. They're not gonna look the same.
So then think about this. Hide the negatives, accentuate the positives, right? So obviously if you can't draw and you can't do that, or you change the narrative of the story so that there's a reason why every panel the character looks different. Maybe the concept is, you're looking at this character. All these things happen in alternative universes. Every panel, I don't know.
I can think of it working as if the whole show's about somebody with psychosis or something.
Well, it's not. Whatever the whole comic would be about, it would be.
I'm saying the only way that would work is like if you go with the Hellblade scenario where it's somebody with you're seeing it through the eyes of somebody with psychosis.
I don't think it has to be through psychosis. I think you could just.
Well, it would explain why they're always different.
Well, that's what I'm saying. It could just be your like the whole concept of it is it's dimensional based or whatever. So every panel you're looking at the same event in a different
but you're
dimension.
Again, you're giving the AI too many. It's not going to be. It's like they're not going to be slight differences. It's going to be drastically different.
Yeah, you're looking at this thing happen with the same guy, but he's in a different dimension.
So again, how are you going to explain for every panel to be different?
Well, because that's what it is at the beginning. You're seeing this through the lens of, I don't know. Yeah, sure. Maybe you'd have to contract an artist to, let's say, draw your first page or two, which that's affordable because I've looked into that. You can get someone to draw 1 to 2 pages on Fiverr or whatever that fucking thing is for like, they'll do it for like $50 a page, right? And it's like, I think you get up to 8 panels. So you pay them to do this shit where you're explaining in the first 2 pages, you'd have 16 panels, let's say, to explain that this story is essentially told from the perspective of multiple, I don't know. It's you're viewing this in the cosmic sense of multiple. Every panel is a different dimension or something. I don't know. Again, I'm just making shit up right now off the top of my head. I think if given time and if you sat down and said, okay, you could potentially explain this in a way and you don't have to have them look exactly the same. If you can articulate a reason at the beginning why it's like this, then you could probably take advantage of this AI technology in its infancy to make a comic book or something akin to that and maybe make it good. Because again, with just those images that it's making and you using basic Photoshop skills, you can put in the bubbles, you can put in all that shit, the word bubbles, and you can do that however you want. You don't have to fucking make it look, because those word bubbles are all the same, right? So like that's not going to matter. But I don't know. It's just the art itself will change from panel to panel to panel. Fucking A. I don't know, man. I feel like I'm onto something with this. I feel like there's a way to do this to make it fucking work. And again, this is just some bullshit we came up with talking on a podcast.
But again, you don't own the images.
Okay. You don't need to sell them. You can repost the images. If you don't sell the fucking thing, you can do whatever you want with it.
Yeah, but you also can't claim it as your own as well.
Literally, you put in the thing. Remember what we said about the articles? You put in the thing right at the beginning. This was written by an AI. Okay, this artwork on pages 2 through fucking 20 was drawn by an AI. That's all you got to say. Or what about the AI programs that you can purchase that do this, where you do own whatever it makes?
I'm just saying, like, that's how they're getting those people. Like the guy who was selling nude photos through OnlyFans, and it was just all AI generated images.
Oh shit,
that's fucking great.
Yeah, he got taken down because he wasn't claiming it as an AI.
Cool. So that he fucked up, right? But we wouldn't lie and say that we're making this ourselves. I mean, we're coming up with the ideas and plugging it into the thing. But yeah, an AI is An AI is drawing the shit. I don't think people would fucking be maybe turned off by that fact alone. Sure, if it sucks, then okay. I'm sure that would not work. But
like I say, because I played around with those AI's images, and it's just
yes, the ones that are free suck ass. They're terrible. I've played around with them too. They're garbage.
Well, it's just not like I don't think you're overestimating how inconsistent it's gonna be.
No, I'm counting on it being extremely inconsistent.
Like I tried doing to see how it would make a scene, and it's like none of the panels were workable with each other. Because it's not.
Well, no, you don't have. Okay, so this is where maybe I'm not explaining it right. You're not, because remember, we're using Photoshop skills here. So you're not making it draw the whole panel. You're having it do the character doing an action, and you're cutting out the rest of that shit, and then you're having it make the background. You're inserting the background. You just have it draw the background by itself of whatever it is, right? And then you're gonna cut the character out, and you're gonna layer them over the background.
Yes, but the thing is, like, say you say, okay, do this character doing this in photo A.
Yeah, okay.
It's gonna be some white dude shooting.
Sure, okay.
In the next panel, it's gonna be a Mexican dude not even looking the same person.
Yeah, exactly. But it's like that's what I'm saying. That's where you work this. You make the story fit around the tools that you have to use, right? So that's what I'm saying. Maybe this interdimensional fucking each panel's different dimension thing is dumb. I don't know. That's just a thing I came up with off the top of my head to explain it. I'm saying is I think that there's a way that you could explain it in order to make it make sense, and it could be something that is completely uniquely original. There's no fucking comic, I doubt, that's ever fucking done that, where every panel was different.
I wouldn't say that.
where every panel was looking at a different dimension. The character's completely different in every panel. I doubt there's a comic that's ever done that.
There's no such thing as an original thought, John.
No, I doubt that there is not. I doubt that there is a comic out there that exists that's done exactly what I'm saying.
In Japan alone, every year, every day, or not every day, every month, there are 10,000 fucking new issues being made. There's 10,000 new ideas becoming out.
Sure.
There's in all those hundreds of thousands of independent people making shit. I don't think this is gonna.
I'm not talking about Japan. I'm talking about here in America. All right.
I'm saying it's not a unique idea. You're saying that it is.
Yeah, I'm saying that is a completely unique idea that has not been put out there.
But because it came out in Japan, it doesn't count.
I'm talking about here in comic book form. I'm talking about mangas. I'm talking about comic books. All right.
I know, but I'm just saying, like, it's not it's to say that no one's ever done it is a dumb thing to say.
What I'm saying is, I don't think anyone has taken and harnessed the power of AI and created a story around a comic to explain why everything is different. I don't think anyone's done that.
I wouldn't doubt that somebody didn't already come up with that idea. I would not doubt it.
Okay, well, my idea is unique.
Just because you can't think of it,
maybe it's not original.
Done it doesn't mean someone hasn't done it.
Sure, I could go with you on that, but what I'm saying is I think that there is something there that you could make it work.
Right.
Just because someone has a lack of imagination or a lack of, belief doesn't mean it can't work. Sure, maybe we could try this and it would fucking be terrible. I don't know, but I think that it's in the world of just seeing everything's a sequel or everything's a fucking prequel or everything's a fucking remake. I think at least trying to create something with tools that you have to make what seems like an original idea or something that's probably unique, at least amongst it. Sure. Maybe every aspect of what I'm saying of this idea individually has been done before. But what I'm saying is no one's done this before is this combination of putting these things together is unique in and of itself, is what I'm saying. I think listen, I'm not saying either just because I haven't seen it doesn't mean it doesn't exist, because I haven't seen a lot of shit that I would say probably exists, but I haven't seen it. So I'm not saying that individually these things have never been done or a certain combination of these things has never been done. I'm saying that the combination of all these things combined with the story of however we would come up with to explain it would probably never have been put together before in that way, is what I'm saying. Thus making an original idea. Because yes, the basis of every idea that's ever been done before has been done, right? There's like 7 archetypes of story, and that's just every story boils down to these 7 or 8 archetypes, right? So yes, every idea that's ever been created through the history of man has probably been done before. But how you get unique and original ideas is taking things maybe that have already been done and then combining them in different ways. It's like a Rubik's Cube, right? Yes, you've got all these colors that already exist, but the thing that makes it original is the combination of the colors. What? Yeah, we're talking about creating comic books.
Not Shark Tank.
Whatever. Anyways, I don't know. I think that idea is fucking pretty valid, in my opinion, of at least attempting to do it to see what could happen.
No one said it wasn't valid.
I'm just saying I think it's valid. That's it.
All I said was that I doubt that it's a unique idea. No one said it wasn't valid. I just said it wasn't a unique idea.
Well, then we disagree on that. I do think it's a unique idea. I think it's an original idea. Because think about this, though. Whatever. Anyways. So, what the fuck were we talking about before I went on that rant? I don't remember.
I was talking about Has-Been Hotel.
Has-Been Hotel. Oh, yeah. Sorry. Go ahead. So, you're talking about Has-Been Hotel. Or you're talking about independent artists.
Independent work.
Yeah. Being better than,
mainstream, yeah.
Right.
Because my whole thing is the more hands are touching something, the more diluted it's going to be.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, it's the nature of the beast where if you want to go mainstream, you have to let other people touch your shit.
Right.
I mean, I don't know how much control she gave up when she sold the idea to A24. But
I'm sure it was all of it or most of it.
I don't know, man, because the quality didn't go down from the pilot to the show. And I don't mean quality of animation stuff because it went up.
Yeah.
But the quality of the characters, the writing, and especially the fucking songs didn't go down.
Well, sure, because all right. So generally, from my understanding, is when anyone, whether it be a comic book company or whatever, when they buy like a smaller thing out, they usually keep the person who made it on. They hire them as the person who's going to write for this fucking thing.
Right.
Especially in this case, it had popularity beforehand, and if people don't get that same level of quality or whatever that the original thing had, they're not going to get sold on this thing, on the new thing. So you kind of have to bring them in at least at the beginning.
I mean, when Amazon picked it up, they didn't. The first season wasn't even done yet, and they greenlit them for 4 seasons or 3 seasons.
Yeah.
So they saw something.
Yeah, I'm sure they do. And then once it becomes a thing, then they're going to want to make changes, and they're going to want to do this, and they're going to do that, right?
How hard did this shit fucking hit Amazon?
Yeah.
It's like it's in their top 10 right now, but it's getting most of its traction through YouTube.
Yeah.
Because that's where it started.
Is it on YouTube?
It's just the first episode.
Oh, okay.
How shit works.
Yeah.
Good old the P fucking Bay.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, last time I saw it was like number 8 on the Amazon top 10 right now.
That's pretty good.
I think number 1 is that stupid fucking I won't say stupid, but the remake of Mr. and Mrs. Smith.
Oh yeah, that's with what's his name? Yeah, I was gonna say
what's his name?
No, it is Donald Glover, right?
Yeah, Childish Gambino.
Yeah, Childish Gambino. Yeah, or fucking Lionel Calrissian, as he's known as. Anyways, so.
But my point is, like,
yeah,
the more hands something touched, the less. That's why I feel like the independent circuit, it's like a better term.
No, I think it's a good thing to
produce better. It's going to produce better stuff, but once it gets to the mainstream, it's going to lose a lot of its charm and flavor.
Yeah,
because there's the person that makes their own homemade ice cream, and then once Haagen-Dazs gets involved, and that's when the bugs start getting introduced because of all the mass production.
Yeah, true.
So it's like I don't know at least from what I saw from the pilot. And in these 8 episodes, it was great. Sure, it was weird going from the voice actors that they had in the pilot to these new voice actors, but it was still a great experience.
Yeah.
Anything with Keith David, I'm going to fucking watch.
Right.
Also had that chick, what's her name? She plays Rosa in Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
Oh, yeah. I don't know what her name is, but yeah.
She's the main character in that, too. I don't think they use her to sing, though. I think they actually hired someone else to sing for her. Which I'm sure they did with Keith David sometimes too.
Yeah, maybe. All right. Well, either way, I think you're right about independent stuff being generally better, or it can be generally better.
Obviously, there's a lot of shit.
Because as you know, it's the I don't know. It's like the purest form of art because it's not driven by money. Yeah. Right?
Well,
it's like
driven by money, but it's not. The money hasn't been touched yet, I guess you can say.
No,
money hasn't touched them yet.
Nah, because it's like that thing we talked about before about like the Rick Rubin thing, right? When you create the art or whatever, right? He talks about there's some what the fuck does he say? About if you're motivated by money, then you're gonna fail. Like you're not gonna succeed. The art's gonna be shitty. It's gonna be garbage because
it's fan service.
Yeah, it's fan service, right? But if you're creating something for yourself or just to create,
wouldn't everything be fan service?
No, because
you're doing everything for the service of fans.
No, well, that's what he's saying is if you make something for people based on what you think they're gonna like, then it's not gonna be good. It's gonna be bad. Like the art itself is gonna be tainted or whatever. But if you go in and you create something and you do it for the reason because it's something that you like or you love yourself and you're doing it for yourself or you're doing it for
time, if you don't evolve, your shit disappears.
I'm not saying you have to evolve. I'm not saying you're not evolving. I'm saying like
I mean, look at what happened with let's say like Linkin Park, where their music, the last album they had versus the first album are two whole different things. Same with Metallica.
Sure, I'm not saying that you don't evolve, right? But I'm saying if you do that with the main
that's
purpose
definition of changing your shit to fit the new narrative. Like when Metallica, when they went from thrash metal to regular metal, because there was no more market for thrash metal.
Okay, but my point is,
But I'm just saying, like you're saying that if you don't never do things for what you think people like, only do things for what you like. I get that, but at the same time, if you do that, there's a chance you're going to become irrelevant.
yeah, sure. But what I'm saying is generally that's why these things are bad, is because they're motivated. They're motivated by money.
Anyone who says they're not motivated for money is trying to sell you something.
I don't know. I kind of disagree with that.
Name one thing that isn't motivated by money. Communism?
No, that's all. That's everything's motivated by money. But what I'm saying is that I'm not talking about the specific reason.
I get what you're saying, like the whole aspect of do something you're loving,
okay,
work a day in your
if
life.
I make this, if I make a podcast, right, and I'm doing it for the sole purpose of making money, it's probably not going to be that good. Because all I'm doing is I'm literally coming here, I'm saying, okay, what do I think is going to sell the most? What do I think is going to sell the best? I'm going to focus on just getting people to buy this shit.
But yeah, but at the same time, so if you're just doing it for fun, like we are here, are you going to say there's no part of your mind that isn't thinking about a profit?
No, it's not a focus at all right now because there is no profit. It's all we're doing is spending money.
So you never want to make money on this.
No, I'm not saying I never want to make money. I'm saying that when if this ever becomes a point where I'm doing this just to get the money, it's probably not going to be as good as it was when we were doing it, because of the purest form of the art of podcasting, or whatever you want to call it, was us doing it for nothing.
But saying that money is never part of the equation is...
I didn't say it wasn't ever part of the equation.
But you're just saying if you're doing this for money...
I'm saying if your sole motivation... I'm not saying you're wrong at all. I'm saying if you're doing this for the sole...
At the beginning of this.
No, I said it's going to be bad. I didn't say you're wrong. I said it's probably going to be bad, or it's not going to be that good. If your sole motivation is money, it's probably not going to be that. Your content's probably not going to be that good.
Kiss?
I don't think they started out just for the money.
They didn't know each other. The fucking record studio pulled people together to make Kiss.
Okay, look, there's outliers, there's exceptions to the rule. But generally, what I'm saying, this is a perfect example of why what you're saying is true, because the studios get involved. Because why? It's all about money, right? So then the art becomes tainted. It becomes bad. It becomes bad because people are like, no, I think this guy doing this action that has no reason to exist, I think that's going to be what sells. But you're not being true to the art because the character wouldn't do that. So then the fans are not going to like it. It's going to be bad. It's going to bomb. It's going to do bad, right?
But you just say you shouldn't be motivated by what fans say.
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm saying, Frank, is that the reason why that thing is bad is because they were motivated by money. That's all they cared about, right?
But you're saying that it's going to be bad because the fans aren't going to be able to connect to it like it was beforehand.
No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying it's bad because it's motivated by money, and that changes everything. That's what I'm saying.
But at the same time, but understanding the people that watch your shit or enjoy your product is also part of it.
Yeah, but you then creating the thing just to appease them is when it's not, you're not creating art anymore or whatever. You're just making shit for people to consume. That's all you're doing. So if you cave in and you say, okay, I'm going to change my stuff because this sells better, it's tainted, right? That's what I'm saying. Like a comic book artist, like this. If you are a comic book artist,
like how. All right, but then that's the whole aspect that I'm saying is that you're trying to. I'm trying to put this into words. I was trying to make a comparison with the WWE not listening to the fans. And it's a shitty product.
It's not a shitty product because they don't listen to the fans. It's a shitty product because they're all motivated by money.
But
at the same time,
like not giving people what they want is the answer.
No, I'm not saying it's the only answer. What I'm saying is,
but you're saying if you try to do things for the fans, then you're wrong.
I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm just saying it's not going to be that good, or it's not going to be as good as it was when you were doing it for yourself, or you were just making it because this was the story, or this was whatever the thing you were trying to tell.
So it's better to stick to your guns despite what other people are liking, and you just stray away from the zeitgeist or what's popular and make no changes whatsoever to stay with the times.
I'm saying you should just make, like, if you're a comic book artist, right, and you want to make a comic about I don't know, whatever.
No, I'm just answering my question.
Yeah, I'm saying what you should do is you should make the shit you want to make, and you shouldn't.
Okay, and never add or anything.
No, I'm not. Okay, This is what I'm saying. This is what you're not getting. You're not understanding that I'm not saying you should never do this. All I'm saying is that if you do that, it's not going to be as good as it was before. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying it's right. I'm not saying it's wrong. All I'm saying is it's not going to be as good as what it was before.
All right, I'm going to hold you to that.
Hold me to what? I'm not saying we should or shouldn't do it. I'm just saying it's not going to be good.
I'm going to hold you to that.
So, okay.
So don't change your fucking mind.
About what?
About that. About never servicing the fans.
I'm not, Frank. I never said that you should never do this.
You literally did. You say that you shouldn't do that.
No, I'm not saying you should or Frank, I literally just told you. I'm not saying it's right or wrong. I'm not saying you should or you shouldn't. I'm saying if you do the change to just appease people or the fans, or if you just try to do what sells or you're motivated by money, it's not going to be as good as it was before. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying that you shouldn't do it. I'm not saying that you should do it. I'm just saying the simple fact of you being motivated by money or appeasing others means it's probably not going to be as good before.
That's what I want to say. I want to hold you accountable to that because that's the mindset you need to keep. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, that's okay.
That's what I'm saying. I'm going to hold you accountable to that.
Okay, then hold me accountable to that. Because I do agree. I don't think, like, if I'm going to make something and people hate it, I'm not just going to change it to win people over or to make because I think this is good in the way it is. Now, sure, this is all opinion based. So if, like, I make a comic and people think it's bad, cool. I think it's good. Mm-hmm. So I'm not going to change what I made just so that you will like it. Then you don't like it. That's fine. Fuck off.
But that's like, again, my whole thing is like comparing it to, like.
But now, if I were
never changing campy Batman into serious Batman.
Yeah, but why'd they change him? Was it just to make more money? Then it probably wasn't as good.
So you say campy Batman should have stayed the same?
No, I think they made campy Batman to appeal to a better audience, to a more broad audience.
That was the first
television Batman. Television Batman, but comic book Batman wasn't super campy like that. Wasn't as campy as that.
Yeah, that wasn't when he switched over to that weird fucking circular ears mask because he's changed from the Adam West, like that weird drawn eyebrows. Fucking
yeah.
He even made a whole movie about it where he's like, "Well, yeah, I had to change the mask because I'm not in this to scare kids."
Sure, maybe little changes like that are fine or whatever. I don't care. That's all I'm saying. Is you shouldn't change shit just to make money. That's what I'm saying.
All right.
Like, you should do it because you want to do it.
All right.
If you don't want to do it, then don't do it. But if you want to do it just to make money, then fuck. It's probably not going to be as good as it was before. That's all I'm saying.
All right.
So, anyways. But yeah, I do think, back to what you were saying, that there is a unique opportunity here for people who are independent of anyone making comics, whether you're an artist or a writer, or as we've learned, or I've seen at least, fucking artists don't want to do shit with you if you're just the writer. Like you fucking, they'll like, oh, well, I don't want to do your shit. I just want to make my shit. But, so if you're out there, it's a unique opportunity where you could probably make some headway with this stuff that's coming up that might be bad. That might be the mainstream shit's turning sideways right now, I guess. So it's a unique opportunity. And I think that, yeah, the independent circuit, as you referred to it as, which is exactly what it is probably going to start having a, what is it? Resurgence or a boom? Yeah, I feel like. So anyways, all right. Well, now that we got that out of the way, you got anything else to add?
Nope.
All right. Let's talk about comic book stores. Hour. So a respectable hour.
Yeah, but 90% of it was just pointless ranting.
I wouldn't say it was pointless. I mean, oh, you want to say things? Yeah, go ahead. Let me hear it. Let me hear what you got before we get into the comic books. Yeah, go ahead. Let me hear it.
So, I mean, I hate to go back to the example of Daredevil.
Okay.
Since we already kind of talked about it last time.
Yeah.
But there's a perfect example of a character that nobody really gives a shit about that turns out great books all the time, usually.
Yeah.
And I mean that in both the writing and writing and artist pair that go in with no expectations and not even like the editorial or expecting much, because Daredevil is essentially a street level superhero.
Right.
So there's no rails for what they can do.
Right.
And that just turns out great shit for either Daredevil or Moon Knight or some of the more obscure characters, because nobody's expecting much. So the ceiling is really fucking high because,
well, the expectations are low.
The expectations are low.
Because they are like, we don't give a shit what happens with this.
Yeah. And I mean, a lot of writers, I mean, as far as like, I think Scott Snyder wrote like an anthology before he ended up hopping onto what would be like his first major comic book, which was like Detective Comics. And, that worked out well for him, but it started with him just writing comics out of passion.
Right.
To do things that he was just all in for himself, not so much. Because I mean, how much could you make on your own, like without any kind of notoriety, unless somebody else sees you and says, "Oh man, this guy's got something." And I guess that would be in favor of like your argument of ultimately doing stuff for yourself. Like,
yeah.
Another example, the comic that I really enjoyed that came out more recently, Immortal Hulk. Al Ewing and Joe Bennett going off the rails of like basically creating a Dante's Inferno for a Hulk comic book.
Right. And
I don't think anybody knew what they had. Like nobody was thinking, "Oh, I got to get this on my pull list." It was just strictly out of passion for the character. I mean, sure, they're going to get paid or whatever, but it's like they see the character and what they can do with it. Because if we have to go to the wrestling example.
Yeah.
Or maybe, no, I guess I have like a more apt, tangentially related example.
Yeah.
Which is like Neon Genesis and the Rebuild series of, I think they're called OVAs, right?
Yeah.
So they had Evangelion 1.1 or Evangelion 2.2 and 3. And
all the numbers and shit.
They eventually worked their way to 4 point something.
Yeah.
3+1. That's what it was. So Evangelion did not end on a happy note. Shinji didn't basically.
Yeah, right off in the sunset.
I think the world rebirthed itself, and Shinji and Asuka were essentially like the Adam and Eve of this new world, right?
Yeah.
So then what ended up happening with the OVAs with the 4.0, like the very last chapter of that OVA series, is Shinji gets exactly what he wants, but the person that created Evangelion was like making social commentary within the movie itself to say that here you are, you fucking idiots, you got exactly what you wanted. We gave Shinji his
happy fucking ending.
Other, and it's like I think in his head he's like, I shouldn't have done that because that's not true to
the characters
or like what I originally created. This is just kind of like, this is literally fan service. That was what the last chapter was. So that ended up, it made money, but he compensated or he compromised his integrity for like the art. That thing ended up being, I don't want to say it was shit, but it gave Shinji exactly what he wanted or needed, and the creator of the thing is like, fuck. Well, here it is, folks. Like, here's your fucking fan service. Here's exactly what you fucking wanted.
Well, he also ran out of money.
I guess. I mean, but anyways,
that's why they had to make these movies. these movies are the continuation of the story, but they couldn't finish the series because they literally ran out of money. That's why the final episode was fucking stick figures.
Anyways, all really to say that maybe it's adding on to your point about like artistic integrity, that when you compromise yourself, you end up making something that sure it's going to please a bunch of people, but I mean, what is transcendent in art is like the people that were true to themselves, like Alan Moore writing V for Vendetta because he wanted to. He did it. Like, right. That was outside the scope of superheroes, but it was a comic book. And he's like, I'm going to dare to challenge to be something different. And I'm going to redefine what the hero archetype could be. And it ended up being like an anti-hero character. You didn't really fucking know like what his what that was going to be, morals or convictions were, because he's so mysterious. And it's like when people take those leaps on themselves, not because their motivation is money, but merely to challenge themselves. It's like, that's when you get the transcendental stuff, the stuff that are like the outliers, as opposed to things that run concurrently with the fucking times. Although there is the argument for fucking Frank, which is like the Civil War series within Marvel, that is like a social commentary on the fucking Patriot Act. It's like the Superhero Registration Act, or the Freedom of Information Act is like the superhero. That's the parallel between the times. And somebody took that.
Well, yeah, but what I'm saying, but what I was saying is like, did they do it just to appease the fans? No, they did it because they wanted to social commentate. They didn't do that to just say, oh, here you guys go. Like, here's this thing that you've been wanting. You've been wanting us to social commentate on the Patriot Act. Like, nah, that wasn't the motivation of why they did that. They did it because they wanted to create something that was a social commentary on the current times. And I'm not saying that you shouldn't do that. I'm not saying you shouldn't evolve with the times. I'm not saying you shouldn't do any of those things that, like I said, you want to talk about. But all my point is when you do it just for the money, that's when I think the art suffers, and it's not going to be as good as it was before. That was the point, I guess.
Yeah.
So anyway, go ahead.
Well, anyways, that was just kind of like a thing in favor of Frank, is like, oh, here, I know there's discontentness with how people perceive what was happening in the U.S. at the time with our own government and stuff. And it is a little bit of fan service to pander for like the discontentness of whatever the public perception of the government was at the time. So in some way it does like lean a little bit towards what Frank was saying. But anyways, I forget, there was something else you guys were talking about besides this whole thing.
Oh, the independent comic books versus the AAA.
Okay, so on Reddit, there's something, a little bit of a phenomenon that's been going on in the comic subreddits.
Okay.
Well, specifically our comics. There's a comic book called Elk Hunt. I haven't actually, I've read like the first few ones, but it's like these three people that are riding in a car and they're going to some benign place in the United States.
Okay.
And there's some weird monster elk. Like it's demented. It's like, it looks demonic. It's fucking crazy.
Is it Skinwalker?
Yeah. And I don't know if this thing started. I think it actually started on Reddit itself, but the first one, like everybody loved it. It was like 9 panels, or maybe it was less than that, but I think at this point it's out in 8 or 9. And every time it gets posted, people are liking it. And I'm like, damn, dude, this is just for a comic that exists
only on Reddit. But everybody's like loving it. And I don't know how they're supporting the artists so that they can encourage them to do more, but
gifting gold or something.
Does that translate to money?
I think it can, or some shit, from what I was hearing.
Anyways, yeah. So this person started their career on the interwebs and not even gotten to 10 issues, and they're critically acclaimed within the consensus of Reddit itself. So that is rather cool to see that
I mean, I don't know how frequently that happens where people are making themselves like famous or whatever. But it is cool to see like witness it firsthand. Cause I remember seeing the first one and I was just like, holy shit, this is really cool to see. And then there's also one on Instagram called Chicken Thoughts, which is about like the creator of the comic itself. The person owns birds. So they made a comic based on their birds that they own. And it's just like dumb, stupid bird behavior and weird shit. But yeah, I mean, having for artists to have a platform on social media or wherever they're posting it and having just as much a chance to succeed or make themselves known and not having to compromise their own art by going to like a publisher and doing all that shit. I mean, that's really incredible.
Yeah, that is pretty sweet. And, you know, I think people have an appetite for that. Like
originality. Yeah,
it's not, all right, listen, we love Batman, but do we want to see him in some shit ass storyline that maybe is currently possibly happening? No. Do we want to see whatever our favorite characters are in shitty storylines? Not generally, but, you know, original characters or original storylines or whatever are, that people definitely have an appetite to consume that and view it, which will help people that are making these things obviously not. And nowadays, again, because before, if you wanted to make a comic book, you'd have to go to fucking a publisher and you'd have to send them shit and get them to approve it or get them to like it or, you know, whatever, right? There was a lot of bullshit you had to go through. Now, any asshole with an internet connection can produce whatever it is that they want to produce and put it out there. Sure, there's the bad side of that where, I'm sure there's a lot of garbage out there because any asshole with the internet connection can make whatever they want.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I'm sure there's a lot of really talented people that probably would never have gotten an opportunity in the normal way of things that, you know, exist or whatever, right? Because they,
Like Wizzy Pop.
That's the lady who did the Has Been Hotel or whatever, right? Yeah. I mean, that's a prime example of that, is that they probably wouldn't be in the position they were in if this access to this stuff didn't exist.
I don't even know if you could call it astronomical odds for your comic to be selected for, say, something like Image. But
I don't think that. I think it's zero. I think that the idea that I came up with earlier is a zero. That is a zero idea that there's zero chance that anyone.
Too many risks. Too
many fucking risks. But sometimes you got to take fucking risks.
Double down on yourself. It's not really. Yeah, I mean, if you're going to double down on anything, it should be yourself, right?
Right, yeah.
But you also said that you wouldn't have taken the chance that she took on her project.
Which is what?
Where instead of making the entire series, she just focused on the pilot.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I probably would have just taken the money and made the series instead of just making a pilot.
But she believed in her project.
Well, no, that's the thing. She had a goal. All right, now maybe I shouldn't say this because I don't know this for a fact.
Right.
But this is speculation. Let me clear that right now. To me, it seems like the goal wasn't to make your own shit and be independent. It was to get into the system. It was to be into the system, which is why you make a pilot, because you want it to get picked up and you want someone else to buy it so you can get the money. And then you can have a bigger budget if you get lucky and they want to keep you on, right, to keep making the thing.
Yeah, it's like Quentin Tarantino when he was writing for, that movie True Romance with, what's his name? Slater?
Oh, Christian Slater?
Christian Slater.
Yeah.
And I forgot who else. Gary Oldman.
Yeah, there you
go. He was a writer in that movie. And I think that project allowed him to make Reservoir Dogs thereafter. Like that was his motivation, was just to get in, to make the bag and also to later fund his own project.
Right. Yeah. So yeah, and again, but that, like I said, that was, it seems like the goal was to get into the system and then and work within the system. Like for me, and I think a lot of other people out there that are independent artists, whatever you want to call it, the goal is to not have the man staring over you at all times and fucking telling you what to do and doing this and doing that. Yes, you are going to suffer monetarily because of that. You're not going to make as much money as you were going to make if you would have, say, like for example, her making the show and then putting it out on her own, I don't know. Maybe she wouldn't have made as much money as she got when A24 paid her. I don't know, whatever. Maybe she made a couple $1 million or something, right? I don't know what the deal was. So let's just say, yeah, if you would have made that and put it on YouTube, maybe you wouldn't have made a couple $1 million on that. But at least you would have, hey, I made my own thing that I controlled from A to Z. No one said shit. No one told me what to do. No one said, hey, you can't do that.
Yeah, but
I did it my way, right?
But at the same time, because she did it that way, she was able to get the voice actors she wanted. She was able to get the talented people to be able to sing the songs that she wanted. She was able to get better quality for the stuff that she wanted.
Right. Well, that's what I'm saying. Sure, that's the difference. That's again, you're you know, it's a give and a take, right?
Yeah, but I get what you're saying, but at the same time, I get wanting the best possible outcome for your project if it's a passion project.
Well, the best possible outcome is to not have anybody else's hands creatively directing where it goes, I think.
You don't know that. The whole, like,
hey, you need to put that towards you because it's not picking you up at all.
Like,
no, you need to point this part. You got to talk into this part because it doesn't detect shit from like outside. It's like right
is that
here.
an omnidirectional mic?
Huh?
Is that an omni mic?
No, it is. But the sweet spot for where it's with
whatever,
all mics.
whatever.
Everything's right here. Like, yeah.
Whatever. The I think it was Kishimoto's, or it was a manga artist, or I forgot the term for the mangakos, whatever.
Okay.
He was saying that the best outcome for not the best outcome, is that the best moments for him was where his staff was pitching ideas with him. And he said he changed his mind a lot because the staff was able to come up with better ideas.
Yeah, because they're involved with the project.
Again, it's a small team.
Right.
I don't know how it is with her. Like, again,
Yeah, who knows?
we're making speculations here.
Sure, yeah.
But I get the idea of wanting the best possible outcome, which needs, you have to make sacrifices if you're doing it yourself.
Right.
Maybe she wanted to have better actors. Maybe she wanted to have better animation style. Maybe she wanted this and couldn't get it with what the budget she had.
Yeah, to make a whole series, sure. That's why you just make one episode.
So yeah, I don't. That's why I don't think it's bad to want to have a production company to help you. Like, and again, she went with A24, which is a more. I want to say they're not as mainstream, I should say.
Right, but the problem is,
again, we're making the assumption that she had to change things.
Oh yeah. Well, I'm not saying because A24 is considered like an independent
production company,
but that even though that's independent, the problem still remains. They're paying you for something, right? Mm-hmm. Which means they're not doing this to make no money or lose money, right? They're doing it to make money. So if they see something that needs to change so that it'll make more money, they're going to make you change it. That's what I'm saying.
Mm-hmm. Again, we're assuming that.
No. Oh, yeah, it's an assumption, but it's a guarantee that
it's a very educated assumption.
In general, I think it's a very
likely scenario.
I get
that, but I'm saying. But then you also run the risk of it. Well, I guess the thing I'm trying to say is, like, we don't know what went down with everything. So we don't know what she wanted. We don't know if this is a passion project or this is just a foot in the door, like you're saying.
Right. Who knows?
Yeah. But I'm saying at the same time, like, you can.
So okay.
What I'm saying is, like, you don't have to. It's okay to get help. It's not to go crazy with it. Like with her, she just went through A24, then A24 sold this idea to Amazon.
Right.
So by the time Amazon got involved, the show was almost done.
Yeah, correct. But see, here's okay. So then this is where people are saying online that A24 generally doesn't get involved.
Yeah,
they just let you do whatever the fuck you want.
Yeah,
if they are involved. But like you said, this is where they make their money, right? Is they sold it to Amazon. They sold the whatever the rights, or I don't know how it works, but they sold some shit to Amazon for the Amazon to have it.
I think they were, from what I understand, is that they were going to put it on multiple platforms. Because originally A24 was going to make this a television show, but it would have been a TVMA show,
right?
Or not TVMA, but you know what I mean. So I guess they went through the streaming services, and I don't know, man. I don't know where I was going with this.
Well, so my point being, I guess, is that once they sell it to Amazon, if Amazon orders four seasons, and then they say, "Hey, we think this is gonna get more viewers on our end if you guys do this,"
that's the risk you run with going to a big network.
That's what I'm saying. Is that's what
we saw what happened with Critical Role when they fucked over their fans.
By going with Amazon, because
I think it's still considered the largest Kickstarter in the history of Kickstarter for the media side of it.
Yeah.
And then they sold it to Amazon and then told all the fans, "Hey, I know you paid for the show, but you have to go pay Amazon to go watch it."
Yeah. See, that's fucked up.
Yeah.
That'd be like if you made a comic book on a GoFundMe and then whatever sold it to fucking Marvel and then it was like, "Oh, but you guys, you got to go buy the fucking comics from those assholes over there if you want to know what happens."
So that's happening with Critical Role aspect. And I mean, did she do the same thing? No, because she used the crowdfunding to make that pilot.
Okay. But then you got to have, well, see, that's what I'm saying. That's where the creative decision to make a pilot.
Like, she didn't do the same thing because, you have to pay for an Amazon subscription to watch her show.
Right.
But the crowdfunding was for the pilot.
Yeah. So then that's different.
She gave them what they paid for.
Yeah. It was just to make a pilot. It wasn't to make a full-fledged series.
Yeah.
She could have ran it to make a series, right? I guess. So
if she would have done the opposite where she said, "Oh, I'm going to make a series, but now I'm going to sell it to Amazon. Now you have to pay to watch it, even though you already paid me to make it."
Yeah.
Which is what fucking Critical Role did, and I'm still pissed off about them for that.
So let's see if this article real quick, just so we can be sure about this A24 thing. A24 is a distributor and production company. Did they buy it outright from her, or
did she license it to them?
Wait. Did you have any more to say? Were you?
No, I was just talking about that. I was just using it as an example, and then we just went off track.
Yeah. Man, somebody fucking in the Reddit of this put this as it here. Hope this article helps or clears things up, and it's doing none of that. It's got no fucking answers. It seems like it might just be a fluff piece on this, but it just doesn't explain anything. But
oh wow,
what?
According to this, they just help. Amazon just helped with the animation, with the production.
They just held it up. What does that mean? They did what?
They just helped Bento Box make the animation.
Oh, Amazon helped them make the animation?
Yeah. According to this.
What the hell is Spindle Horse Studios?
Mm.
Wait a minute. Okay, so anyways, but I don't know.
Yeah, Spindle Horse Tunes, Bento Box, Entertainment, A24, and Amazon Studios are all the production companies involved in this.
Okay. All right. Well, whatever. This
is off topic.
Yeah, this is going off topic. But anyways, so yeah.
Whoa.
Who knows?
Hazbin Hotel is the largest global debut for a new animated series on Prime, on video.
On Prime?
Yeah.
Oh, well, that's cool. Good for them.
Yeah, it surpassed 100 million views on YouTube alone.
Anyway,
back to comments.
So do you have any more to add about this or anything in particular?
What are we at in time?
It's been like an hour and something. Hold on, let me double check. Hour and 24. So
I think we could save that.
the comic book store thing. Oh yeah, we can make that its own fucking episode because this turned into something even better. I mean, you know, it was fuck. We basically went into this going to talk about comic book stores, and for almost an hour and a half, didn't even get to that topic yet because we just came up with shit just came out of the ether and just poured through us, and we talked about all kinds of crazy shit today. So
if I can add something real quick,
yeah, go ahead.
it looks like ownership of the show is either between her and A24.
Uh-huh.
All it is that Amazon Prime ordered from them.
Yeah, well, Amazon doesn't own it. They're just gonna the platform
It's
that's
just a
gonna be on.
platform, so I don't even think they have a say in it then.
Well, no. Okay, so that's what I'm saying is they don't have maybe creative control.
Let's not continue this conversation. We'll
All
continue this
right.
later.
Yeah, we'll talk about it later. Anyways, all right. Well, do you guys have anything else you want to talk about on this episode?
No, I think I'm good for now.
All right.
I don't know why, but I want to say Smoogans.
Snoogans?
Yeah.
Good old Jan Silent Bob.
Yeah.
Anyways. All right. Well, that was fun and interesting. So stay tuned for the next episode where we actually talk about what we were probably going to talk about in this episode, which is comic book stores.
No, we're not. We're going to get sidetracked again.
Probably.
Something else is going to come out.
Oh, I'm sure something else will happen in the next episode. So
That fucking, did you see the fucking the concept art of the Batman Beyond thing that they wanted to do?
no, it was like a show,
They pitched a movie. It looks like
like an animated movie.
no, yeah, it was an animated movie. And it kind of looks like Spider-Man Into the Verse where it's all like neon colors and shit.
Oh, Is he in the 80s?
Yeah, no, it's supposed to be in the future, remember?
Oh, that's right.
And
Cyberpunk Batman.
Yeah, it looks so fucking good that people are saying, oh, it should be done. And watch, by the time the next issue comes out that we're going to do this, it's going to get a green layer. We're going to have a whole conversation on that.
Probably. Well, that's the other thing. I should have probably said this in the other episode too about the video gaming one. But yeah, we're gonna try to do this one at least, once a month, maybe twice a month. I don't know. It's depending on the shit that happens.
Whenever we feel like.
Basically, it's whenever we feel like it. But we're gonna try to do it more often than once every 3 fucking months because that.
Consider that, like, especially with video games, for the most part, we're not as at least
Yeah.
you guys are. I don't know about you guys, but we're not as hands on as we used to be.
Right, in terms of playing video games and the time we spend playing games.
Well,
so
I still play video games a lot, but it's the same 2 games every.
yeah, it's not like you're buying fucking shit tons of games to play to
I still
talk
haven't
about.
I'm a huge D&D nerd. And I still haven't bought Boulder Gates 3.
Oh yeah, that would be. Maybe it'll come to the Game Pass.
No,
Well-
it's owned by a Sony subsidiary.
I'm sure Microsoft will buy them eventually.
I mean, they got the show to be on the Game Pass.
Yeah, true. Anyways, all right. Well, that's for the
Literally
game.
made by Sony.
Yeah, it's for the game podcast. But anyways, yeah. So we're gonna try to do this more often than we have been. So
No promises.
I mean, yeah, no promises, but we'll see what happens. But anyways, all right. Well, fucking A. Thanks for listening, and shit. I guess we'll catch you on the next one.
That was Panel to Panel, the Game Rage Magazine comic book podcast. Thanks for listening. If you want to know more and follow along, go to Instagram and TikTok. Follow at Game Rage Magazine. If you want to follow on Twitter/X at Game Rage Mag. Tune in next time.